Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. This time is the Mezco Toys 112 Collective Moon Knight, the normal release. So let's get started. Everybody knows that I reviewed the black and white one, and now we are here months later with the normal release. There's been some changes to it. It has a more pearlescent design. It's no longer the flat white that we previously saw, which I'm actually okay with. It came out pretty beautiful. The whites actually mix pretty well. It looks really good. And for those of you that have the black and white one, you can pick and choose which one you kind of want to go with now. But yeah, let's jump into it. We already know we're getting articulation wise, and I'll go over that in a second. But let's talk about the look on the white. The white comes out really well, and I don't think it's going to show on my camera well enough. But the mix of the pearl white on the armored parts, which include the belt, the gauntlets, the wrist, and the legs, which is from the lower knees down, the boots and stuff. These actually came out really well on the pearl white design. It is a semi-gloss. I'm not going to say curl. I'm not going to say gloss. Definitely a pearl-like design, and they look really fantastic, and they stand out from the normal white that you get in the suit. The vinyl textures look really great with the off-whites and whites. Just the nice look of the milky look is just fantastic. I actually wasn't expecting this at all, so this is a nice, cool change that I look forward to, but I know some people may not like it, considering what they thought they were getting previously. So, sorry about that, y'all. But anyway, let's jump into the articulation part of this. Now, we all know you don't get much movement with the hood on. So if you are moving your Moon Knight around, you can obviously go left and right with it. You can actually get left and right, up and down too as well, but it just won't look as good in the hood. When you pop the hood off, which is what I'm going to do now, you can definitely get your Mr. Knight on. It has a great look of the blue eyes in there. Just like with the white one, the blue eyes, on the black one, the blue eyes look really fantastic. This is a more dirty white. And you can definitely get your Mr. Knight look here as well. It looks really fantastic. The cape is not wired. That was no change to that at all. It is still a moon crescent shape, as you can see here. I personally prefer wired cape, but this actually sits down and droops really well over him. It actually covers the entire body with no problem and still can wrap all the way around. If you don't like that, what you can do is you can up and tuck in, roll back, and do the same on each side. And it should droop over the shoulder very nicely behind him. So you can keep that in mind. If you roll and tuck twice, as you can see I'm doing here, you shouldn't have any problem just kind of voila, doing that. Now, as far as articulation goes, we have our standard upward arm movement, which looks fantastic. The arms actually look a little baggy up here. It's almost like they made room for anything that would have gotten in the way of the arms, which I'm actually okay with. I'd rather it have room and look a little baggy than it to be too tight and ripped. So that's just me. We have our bicep swivel, which is still there, no problem. And as you can see here, just tucking in. We have our double joints, which fold in, but we're gonna have problems because the gauntlet is here. So if you rotate the gauntlet a little or push in on the muscle, you can get a better rotation going in. The gauntlets rotate as well. We have our standard wrist articulation, which we all know and love. That's like the standard industry rotation for everyone now. Now, as far as ab crunch goes, we can have our crunch go forward, which doesn't seem like a lot on the suit, but it'll add up in the long run. And then backwards, we can stretch out a little, but it doesn't really look like much. In the suit wise, it's not going to look like there's much articulation. Now, we can actually cut going sideways too, and this is where you kind of get more room for movement. So, with the addition of moving the legs, which you can go up, and double jointed knees, you can actually go this way. You have your thigh swivel as well. And you have a little bit of boot swivel, just a little bit. Now, keep in mind with the boot design, there's not much room for that ankle pivot to move around. The ankle pivot is definitely there, but with the boot cut, you won't get that much range. Now, as far as movement goes, when you're moving around your Moon Knight, articulation-wise, it'll look good, like right here, looks very good. So you do get that range, it's just there's going to be some things hindering the suit-wise. But if you want to get your Brian Wood run on, that standard Moon Knight run, you'll definitely have a good time with this guy. He looks fantastic. Now, if I could pose him up, which I can, as you can see here, he definitely has a sort of look and a vibe and a feel towards him, and he can pose up really well. Something that I like. You're actually going to get that boot to actually sit up top. Has a great balancing. So that's one thing I'm actually looking forward to. It looks fantastic. Now, as far as accessory goes and things like that, we have our hood down. So just like now, with when the hood is down, you would pop this on right under the hood. You would rotate this a little to the side, and voila, you have a much better look at your Moon Knight with his hood up. Then you have an unmasked look, which looks fantastic even with the whites. There we go. Even with the white top, looks really good. They even added a little bit. It looks like the stuff was done a little better on this one as well too. Now we have certain sets of hands. So you have your relaxed hands, the relaxed open palms. Voila. You have your hands for gripping weapons and things like that. Then you have your crescent hands. So on the right hand, you only have one crescent, which is in between the index and ring finger. Then you have your triple crescent here on the left hand, which is probably what he leads with because he's probably left-handed. Then you have your staff, which has a nice pearl white design as well too, which they've constantly now changed on this design. Looks really good. You have nunchucks, which I really love the pointed end of these. Fantastic. You have your grappling hook with nunchuck piece ending. Or would you call this a flail? Technically, this is a flail just with an arrowhead. But yeah, you actually get this as well. These actually look really good with their metal chains. And then you get your crescent shaped moon, which we all know and love. Moon Knight 4. Bless Khonshu, right? Bless Khonshu. Now, let's stand this guy up, see what he looks like with some other figures next to him, whether they be Mezco or another line. Check out what they got going on. I'm actually going to put his hood on because you would definitely see Moon Knight with his hood on most of the time with most people who would do it. So you probably want to get a look at that, right? Let me just put this hood on so you have to deal with me beatboxing. I'm sorry, y'all. Now, I want to make sure this sits on right and it looks good as I have him posed up. All right, there we go. Hood is on. Now, one thing I want to do is I want to compare it to the black and white one. And this is a custom wired cape that I got from Harker Customs, for those that ask. And here he is, next to his white one. And as you can see, the stencil design, even though it's the same, it really pops on that white as it does with that flat white that we have with the black and white one. You can see the difference in, well, how it looks color-wise. Otherwise, the design, I feel like, is really brought out in the white, even though it's there on the black one as well. Looks pretty good. Next up, we're going to compare it to some Marvel Knights. Here he is with DD and the Punisher. These guys look, oh, and I dropped stuff on the side. Anyway, these guys look fantastic next to each other as some Marvel Knights. I really feel like if you've been collecting the line, you're slowly building towards your Marvel Knights. I forgot where my blade is. I'll find him and put him in pictures later. So I really feel like you're definitely gathering some Marvel Knights, which everyone knows and loves that I know. So you guys can enjoy it too, right? Next up, we're going to do them next to a Storm Collectibles Sub-Zero. Voila. Then we're going to do a, let's do a Green Ranger from Lightning Collection. Right? Next up, we have an Articulated Icons Ninja, which I previously had them go up against because size-wise, they're not too off and they look very good against army building fights. Right? We have our 1000 Toy Synthetic Human. Then we have our Vorgus from Mythic Legions. And I feel like because of Serpent War with Conan, the Mythic Legion stuff and Moon Knight stuff actually have a very good reason to cross over. So very much expect that in my photos, especially after the Conan crossover, Serpent War, which hasn't ended yet. If you're watching this, I won't spoil anything, right? Then we have an SHF here and a Marvel Legend. So Marvel Legends wise, we have SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider Kuga. And we have a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. Last but not least, we have a Mezco Me. Just throwing that in there for fun. And I see size-wise, I actually scale up for once because I am actually short. So here we are toy-wise. All in all, I've very much enjoyed the black and white one, and now I'm going to enjoy the white one, especially after I learn how to do a little bit of blood splatter and add some extra effects onto them. It's going to be really nice. But overall, I've enjoyed that one, and now I'm really enjoying this one. Hopefully, you guys will too. You don't really have to watch this if you've seen the black and white one. So I hope you enjoyed this anyway. In the meantime, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you found it informative. And as always, please be good, do good, drink your water. Later.